the drawers and cupboards, anything that opens in a camper, isn't easy. There are a number of different solutions to this online. You can search them. Some are expensive, some are less expensive, some are effective, some not so much so. But I found a way to keep things closed, whether it be doors or drawers or even other things, which I'll show you today, that is extremely inexpensive, very few parts, and not hard to do. And this is all we need to do it. 3 parts and 3 tools, if you want to call an Allen wrench a tool. This is a threaded ferrule. They're found in many hardware stores, and you can buy them as kits for a few dollars, and they come in multiple sizes. If you're going to need a bunch of them, it's the cheapest way to go. A bolt threads into the ferrule like this. This is threaded. And it's open on the end so you can thread it all the way through. Now, to install this, you drill a hole. And using an Allen wrench that fits right in the end of this, you screw this ferrule into the wood. From that point, you have something in a piece of wood that you can thread a bolt through. I'm going to install this in a little while and show you how it's done in one piece of furniture that I have in my camper. But before I do that, we need to turn this bolt into a knob. This is a bottle cap from a 2-liter soda bottle. I am going to take and put a dab of it, or maybe about 1/8 of an inch of it, down here in this cap. And then I am going to center this bolt in it and try to get it so it's nice and vertical. And the way to get it vertical is to make sure it's pressed down flat on the bottom. And it's centered pretty good. And now I am going to fill the rest of it with hot glue. And the hot glue will eventually settle and sort of level out into the cap. And I want to fill it so that it's pretty flush with the edge of the cap, or in other words, fill the cap. This is what it looks like. A bolt and a cap. But now it's a knob. So let's go out in the camper and do the other part of this while this is hardening. I've got a great little flip down table here, but it's heavy. It's made of solid maple, and it has a pull-out section right here on drawer slides that it really extends it and can be used to just make a larger table, or sometimes I use this for a desk for my laptop. Now, it goes in and it has kind of a soft kind of locking closing feature, but the table itself is so heavy that when I flip it down, if I don't hold this, it falls out. And right now it falls out onto the electric heater, which is fine for traveling. But I would love to have it locked in place. So let me pull this back up and lock it and push this in. And we're going to get down underneath and do a little something that you'll see that will turn it into a locking table. So right now you're looking up underneath this thing, and here's the center of it in the back, but I'm going to put it over here because it'll lock just as good and I'll be able to reach it better from the side. So I'm going to drill a hole as far back as I can, because when this slides out, I don't want it to show that much. So here we go with drilling a hole. Okay, so now I've drilled through the bottom part, and I need to go up maybe 1/4 of an inch or so into the bottom. Okay, I think it's far enough. If it's not, I can always continue. Okay, the ferrule is in, and I have this bolt, which could have been shorter, but it'll do. And make this so the table is all the way in. Now, when I want to take this off, I don't have to pull it out. I just need to drop it below the level of the dent that I drilled up here. And put this back in. And if you snug it up, just the friction of it being held into the threads and into the dent in the wood will keep it from loosening up while traveling. And that's not going anywhere. So let's check it out. And I do have to sweep down there, but nothing moved. And it shouldn't. Success. Now we're right in the middle of packing for our next trip, which you'll see videos coming up. This drawer, when this drawer pulls out, boy, does it pull out. Particularly if I take off too fast. This drawer is triangular shaped to fit in this spot. And there's one rail underneath that it slides on, so it doesn't slide that great, but it does work. Really difficult making rails for a drawer with slanted sides like this. But if I close it up, and let's look down under here and see what we have. And there it is, another knob. And if you can see the ferrule up in there, and there's a piece of wood here, and this is the drawer, and there's a small hole drilled right into the drawer. And if I tighten this up, and I snug it up really good usually so it doesn't slide out, this drawer cannot open. And then if I loosen it up so that it comes down out of the hole, the drawer now slides open. So that's a drawer example. Now, as far as drawers are concerned, there are other options to do this, which I can't show you because I don't have those types of drawers in here. But if you have a set of drawers, a long set of drawers, there may be some easier ways to get them to stop opening. So I've seen some people even put a wooden dowel down through the handles, and they don't open because they'd have to all open at once. They kind of hold each other shut. But if you wanted to do this and you had a space in the side, in the back you could put a knob for each drawer. They wouldn't show much, if at all, and it isn't something like you need to turn these things in and out all the time. You just lock them in for travel. And then when you stop, they're unlocked for the entire time you're there. So it's a doable thing. And then there are some other specialized things. Let me show you what I've done for a particular cupboard door. This cupboard door opens from the bottom. And I do have a child lock over here. I'm sure you've seen those before, like this little latch in here. They're plastic, and it does work, but when it's closed, it opens some, and I have had some things pile up against it and actually fall out depending on how big and how they're shaped. Keeping this closed can be done another way too. I've got this forked piece of metal right here that I've got screwed into the door. And then underneath I have another knob that's in a ferrule. And when I close this, it slides over the bolt that's in the knob right there. And I tighten this down to lock it, and it can't move. So there are lots of different ways you can use this simple method to keep things closed in your RV or your camper. I hope this was of use to anyone. If nothing more than making the knobs either for your RV or your workshop or someplace else can be really handy. And the hot glue is really rugged. You can't turn the plastic bottle cap off from the bolt. You would need to pull it out and use pliers to do it. So it's pretty rugged. So again, thanks for watching. And I think the next time you'll see us, we'll be on the road. We're headed north into Canada. Again, boondocking to parts unknown.